Welcome back to another episode of Say What Needs to Be Said. I'm your host, Sante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel. Yeah, 50 interceptions, future Hall of Fame. Better stop playing with your boy. Sunday night vibes, how y'all doing out there tonight? Baby, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss, and we're going to have some fun, man. Turn on your notifications. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Hey, man, let's have a good vibe tonight, man. Y'all know Say What Needs to Be Said. We always have to speak the things that aren't being said, baby. You know what I mean? Because I got to live up to the name and I got to entertain. We got to have fun. You know, tonight we want to talk about Shiloh Sanders, Tom Brady, and we got to talk about Shannon Sharpe a little bit, man. We got to get into some few things, man. The draft is finally over. Man, it's been a long, stressful couple days watching this draft. You feel me? How y'all doing out there, man? Y'all come on in. Yes, sir. Y'all let me know where y'all coming in from in the chat. Like I said, we got a few things to talk about. Tom Brady, Shedeur Sanders, get into a little Shannon Sharpe. And man, let me tell you, I am glad that draft is over. I felt like I was waiting to be drafted, boy. That thing was draining. It was like I was so intense waiting for my name to be called or something. Like I was in the draft. Yeah, man, it's over now, though. How y'all feeling out there, man? But yeah, I ain't gonna wait for everybody to get in here, man. Shout out to the chat. Super chat, you know, we get to the super chat and we get to the chats when we can, you know, in between segments or at the end of the show, baby. So let's get into it. First things first. First things first. My boy Tom Brady. Tom Brady, it says, Tom Brady accused of sabotaging Shedeur Sanders' NFL draft dream as Skip Bayless drops bomb shall claim. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? Tom Brady has been accused of sabotaging Shedeur Sanders' draft stock. Now, if you don't know, Brady recently became a minority owner of the Oakland Raiders. He is now part owner. And these accusations are coming from Skip Bayless, as mentioned above, right there, right? And somebody has to take the blame for Shedeur Sanders falling to the 5th round. Somebody got to take the blame. And y'all got to stop with this. He is a confident black man narrative. He didn't get selected because he's a black man or his last name. We got to stop all that, man. We got to stop that and let things just be sometimes. Why is it hard to believe that this is truly how the scouts felt or the general managers view Shedeur Sanders? Talent and ability. You know why we always have to take it there? Because it's somebody that is very popular. Everybody's rooting for him. As soon as something goes wrong, we have to make it a black and white issue, a black thing, a white thing. You know what I mean? Why it can't just be, it is what it is. You know? Like everybody say, this is a job interview. You are an employee. You get ready for this interview like you need this job. Your life depends on it. You know what I mean? Now, Brady. This is what the article said. Let's get into this article right here. It says, Brady has a personal connection to Sanders, having mentored the young signal caller and trained him back in 2020. He has also previously sung the quarterback's praises when he opened up their relationship in 2023. Quote, I see someone who has a great work ethic, but wants the knowledge too, Brady said on the past episode of Let's Go podcast. People always ask me, he continued, how good do you think this guy is going to be? And I always say, it depends on who he surrounds himself with. It depends on who mentors him. Because even you, Deion Sanders, weren't a finished product at 21 or 22. I certainly wasn't. I had the right people into my life, and I was open to learning from them. He said I had the right people come into my life. Naturally, this is still Brady, said naturally, he's very proactive, Brady added. We had a conversation, then phone calls, then text messages, and then I'm making the commitment to say, all right, this is what I want to do. I'm very serious about this. And a lot of this, a lot of it is you want to see what their intentions is to because when you see someone that really opens to learning and has a thirst for knowledge, you want to be able to support that. That's what Brady had to say, right? Old Tom Brady. Now, in that article, as you can see, Brady didn't just come out and throw a bunch of praises as he would in the past and tell everybody how good someone is, and maybe they're not that really good. That's the Belichick's way. It doesn't sound like Brady was too fond of Shedeur Sanders after his experience training him and or communicating with him or together. You know what I mean? After reading that article, it definitely doesn't sound like Brady tried to do any convincing for the Raiders to select Shedeur Sanders. It doesn't sound like that in the article. No, no, no. He said he has a good work ethic. He's very proactive. He has a thirst for knowledge. He didn't say he has a great arm. He didn't say he's very accurate. He knows how to read defenses. He didn't say those things. And if it's true that Brady told his team about a prospect that not to draft that prospect, which is Shedeur Sanders, why would we consider this to be hating? If Brady told the Raiders not to draft Shedeur Sanders, why is that sabotaging? Why is that hating? If Brady is a part of the front office or an executive and things like that, he has the right to making his opinion, period, man. You know, we have to understand that we are on the outside looking in. We don't understand the conversations and the things that they talking about and or evaluating. You know what I mean? Also, we don't know the type of image that Shedeur portrayed to any of the scouts or executives, you know, when they had their meetings and things like that at the combine. We're hearing a lot of rumors, you know? And I could say from what I've seen, I don't think Shedeur Sanders understood the concept that he is an employee trying to be employed or trying or looking to get hired. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of where that entitlement talk and stuff like that. You are entitled when you feel entitled. Us athletes, we feel entitled if we're told that we're going to be a first round and top 5 pick. Yeah, man, that stuff go to our head. But Brady is the last person. I'm vouching for Brady, and I'm telling you all this has to be nonsense. And Brady is the last person to bash someone. You know what I mean? Now, if he evaluating, that's different. Like I say, if anything, Brady will give you more credit than you actually deserve. That's the type of guy Brady is. Brady's not here to bash no one. He probably gonna end up giving you more credit than you deserve. Go look at it every time he talks about someone. That's the Patriots' way of doing things. And there's nothing wrong with giving your honest opinion, especially in a situation like Tom Brady. And he's done his homework on the subject, on the athlete. Think about it like this. Think about this, right? If Shedeur Sanders, right? If Shedeur Sanders was characterized as a humble player prospect and not the flashy guy that everyone is, saying he is and things like that. If Shedeur Sanders was characterized as a humble guy, a humble prospect, down to earth, would he have been drafted in the first 2 rounds? You know what I mean? Talk to me, chat. How y'all doing out there? Where y'all tapping in from? If Shedeur Sanders was a humble guy, if he was perceived as humble, not wearing a bunch of jewelry, not all in the limelight and things like that, would he have been drafted in the first 2 rounds? Chat? Somebody say, yeah. I don't know, man. I know it seems that way because we all rooting for him, but I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Me personally, though, I'm just saying I don't think so because of the evaluations and what I'm hearing from scouts and the rumors and things like that. But me personally, I think and I thought he was a first round talent. But folks who are doing the drafting thinks otherwise. You know what I mean? That's the facts. And y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button. I got to start talking to y'all like I'm talking to Shannon Sharpe or Dion or something. Y'all hit that like button. You know what I mean? Pick 6 in the building. Now, man, at the end of the day, you got to be thankful to get drafted and see your name come across that screen at the end of the day. It's a blessing. Because it was starting to get real spooky, man. It was starting to get real spooky for Shedeur Sanders, right? It was getting very spooky. I was thinking he wasn't about to be drafted. I was going to have an emergency, say what needs to be said, and jump on here last night because I thought Shedeur Sanders possibly wasn't going to get drafted. Think about that. Oh man, all hell would have broke loose. Man, it probably been a boycott. Definitely somebody would have been trying to arrange a boycott, man, if Shedeur Sanders would have won an undrafted free agent. Right? Think about that. But it does seem like, and I can't lie, it does seem like someone called in a favor. Our ownership stepped in and made sure the Browns selected Shedeur Sanders, if you ask me. I know y'all seen that clip, and we're going to get to that clip. No, they didn't seem too excited. The energy in the Browns room after selecting Shedeur Sanders seems like they did not agree upon that selection. The energy was very hot. The body language says it was something definitely going on between the staff about maybe that selection, who else they should have picked. I don't want to deal with this kid. You know, it definitely didn't look pleasant. But let's get into it.
Reality in regards to Shedeur and Dion. Dion's not going to interfere. He has not been calling the coach. He has not been commenting about Shedeur while he's in Colorado. Lou, I think there's a lot of isn't reality in regards to Shedeur and Dion. Dion's not going to interfere. He has not been calling the coach. He has not been commenting about Shedeur while he's in Colorado. Lou, I think there's a lot of
nothing's normal during the draft. That's normal. That's bland. That's very bland. That's very bland. It's normal. Does that look like two happy, excited coworkers about a player they just selected? Heck no, man. That don't look like it at all. They have the right to just be chilling and be cool. But they could have at least fake got excited, right? We know there's cameras everywhere now. There's cameras everywhere. They have to know the phone, the cameras are on them, and it's going to be exposed one way or another. But they was in their feelings, man. You could see it loud and clear. Or bright and clear. They was definitely in their feelings. They was clapping like this right here. You probably couldn't even hear them claps. Lean back in the chair. You know what I mean? So I think something transpired where someone stepped in and made a phone call, ownership or something. Because you got to think about it. The Sanders family, man, one thing they do, man, they sell a lot of tickets. So it is definitely a plus to have one of them or their last name on your team. That means revenue gonna go up. You know what I mean? You know? Plus, you know what I mean? Understand, like in the draft, like I say about getting exciting, the energy. When a team feel like they got a steal in the draft, and they're in that war room, and they feel like they got to steal, they're giving high fives left and right. They're hugging. They're giving daps. You know, they're giving that bro hug. You know what I mean? Everything is turned up when they feel like they got to steal in the draft. But that isn't what we saw in that clip. You know what I mean? And This is just the case where Shedeur Sanders has to go out there and prove everybody wrong and go work for what he wants. You know what I mean? It might be a different environment, it might be a different situation, might be a change up for him. You know what I mean? And let me let y'all understand the draft, because this was a very unique situation that the Browns entered in and that they came across like in the draft. It was very unexpected, like, right? In the draft, someone is responsible for every player drafted in every round. And what do I mean by that? There is someone that was responsible for selecting Dylan Gabriel, right? Follow me here. There was someone responsible for selecting Dylan Gabriel. And when a coach vouches for a player to be selected, that coach will do everything he can do to make sure that player is successful, right? Dylan Gabriel went third round, right? So it's clear that somebody was vouching for him and they went up in the third round and made that pick, right? Now, Shedeur, doesn't seem like Shedeur had any coaches vouching for him to get drafted. And when that happens, when you don't have coaches vouching for you, things hit a little different. You wind up in an uphill battle. You're in an uphill battle from the time training camp starts. You like, everything is different. You're the fourth, fifth string quarterback. And at the end of the day, you're in a battle for a roster spot. That's how it goes at fourth, fifth, sixth round. I was a fourth round pick. You're in a battle for a roster spot, right? And sometimes, and every year, it's not just this year, every year, some players end up with just bad timing. Like this with Shedeur Sanders. I don't know if it's bad timing. We have to see, right? And yeah, sometimes it's just bad timing. And when it's bad timing in the NFL, life isn't fair. That player doesn't even get a fair chance to show what he can do. He probably doesn't even get a fair chance to make the team. You know what I mean? With all these quarterbacks on the team, Shedeur Sanders is in a very, very unique situation. I know y'all heard. I know y'all know. Shedeur is in a very unique situation. It's good and it's bad. It's bad and it's good. But if it was me, I'd be licking my chops, boy. I would see so much positive, so much upside. Man, I'd be ready to go, boy. You feel me? And he's in a very unique situation. Like I said, getting drafted by the Browns. This whole draft was weird. This whole draft was weird. But Shedeur Sanders being drafted to the same team as Dylan Gabriel, quarterback from University of Oregon, is something nobody expected. We couldn't have drew that up. No mock draft, nothing. Nobody expected Shedeur Sanders to go fifth round, all these type of things, right? Now the Cleveland Browns have 4 quarterbacks on the roster. Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson, and Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel was drafted 2 rounds ahead of Shedeur Sanders. 3rd round for Dylan Gabriel, 5th round for Shedeur Sanders. But that don't matter, because this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for Shedeur Sanders to go and win one of these top 3 spots on a depth chart. And that's how you got to look at it. You know what I mean? Think about it. Think about it. Think about the quarterbacks on the depth chart and who will end up being the starting quarterback on the first day of the season for the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson was written off by the owners already. They said they made a huge mistake. They gambled and missed, right? His status for the season is pretty much, I don't know, unclear. Doesn't sound like they plan on giving him any opportunity. They have Kenny Pickett coming from the Pittsburgh Steelers, haven't established himself yet as a starter, or you know what I mean? He's 3rd on the depth chart at best. You know? Then you got Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, he came in emergency for Deshaun Watson, led the team to the playoffs and things like that. But he's damn near retired. He's 40 years old, just barely holding on, trying to collect the last little bit of checks he can. That's 3 quarterbacks that you could just kind of write off, you know what I mean? And then you have Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. These two have the most upside on the team, right? And like I say, to be honest, this type of situation happens to players all the time, not getting drafted where they're expected to or projected to be, get drafted at, like Shedeur, right? Some players don't even get drafted at all. They were thinking they're going to be a first, second round players. And some players don't even get drafted at all. Y'all know that? Y'all know that. I don't have to tell y'all that. So I'm trying to make sure everybody understand that to appreciate being drafted. You have to appreciate that, man. That's why you can never take that for granted, man. Watching your name come across that TV screen, you can never take that for granted. It's a dream come true to get drafted, period. I don't care if it's the last pick of the draft. It's a dream come true, man. And not too many people get to experience that in a lifetime. How many people? You could add it up from when the NFL started to now, 32 teams and the free agents, you could add it up. But honestly, man, about Shedeur Sanders, right? Let me tell you. Hold on. Give me 1 second, chat. How y'all doing out there? Tap in. Hey, honestly though, right? Honestly, now we'll get the chance to see how good Shedeur Sanders really is, right? Now we'll really get the chance to see how good he really is. Because the offense isn't going to be tailored to Shedeur Sanders. We can't say he's playing daddy ball anymore. This isn't tailored to him anymore. This is uncharted territory for Shedeur Sanders. I don't think he had to compete for a position since Optimus football. Tell me when y'all think he had to ever compete for a position besides an Optimus, if then, I think this is a great chance this is the first time that we get to see Shedeur Sanders compete for a job. And that may be a good thing. Don't think it's just bad. Don't think it's bad, baby. Don't think competing for a spot is bad. You know what I mean? But it will get very interesting to see how well Shedeur Sanders handles and adapts to his new environment. That's not led by his pops. And same thing for Pops. Pops has to show the world how well he will adapt to his new environment without his sons and not without his quarterback that he had every level of coaching. You know what I mean? They both have to learn how to adapt. And it's going to get very interesting to see this, man. And it's very, very, very possible for Shedeur Sanders. It's very, very possible. It is very possible. A new environment, intense competition can bring out the best in Shedeur Sanders. If he really has that dog in him, I seen in the chat, somebody say he has that dog in him. If he got that dog in him, this competition, this pressure, this uncharted territories, he will be ready for this thing, man. And he will come out and it will bring out the best in him. Pressure brings out the best in everybody. If you a dog, now if you ain't no dog, that pressure gonna bust that pipe quickly. Pressure bust pipes. That's a true thing. That water get hot in that pipe and it get too hot, whatever. I ain't no plumber. Boom. That's a real statement. That's a real analogy right there. You know what I mean? But yeah. You gotta understand too, like the mental shifts, the mentality you gotta have as a player and what can make you and break you, right? Because you got to understand, Shedeur Sanders not walking in the Browns facility like an entitled first rounder anymore. You know what I mean? He's not walking in the Browns facility like an entitled first rounder no more. He has to be ready to run down on kickoffs if they need him to be. If they need him to, you know what I mean? If they ask him to. If they ask him to run down on kickoffs, that's what he has to be prepared to do. You're not an entitled first rounder no more. And yeah, us first rounders and second rounders, they're entitled. They're entitled athletes. Everything is given to them like a silver spoon. That's how it goes. You know what I mean? In NFL, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7 rounders, you're expected to just be bodies on the team. You're expected to be a special teams player, second on the depth chart, third on the depth chart, so on and so forth. They don't expect you to be a starter. That's the truth. That's the truth. Now, on the other hand, this is how the NFL works. Now, on the other hand, if neither of these quarterbacks produce on a high level, not including Joe Flacco, we understand Joe Flacco is out of there. He's 40 years old. But if none of these other quarterbacks produce at a high level this season, the Cleveland Browns will be in the market for a franchise quarterback next year. Believe that. Either during free agency or the draft. For real. Either way, Cleveland Browns will be in the market for a franchise quarterback. And once the quarterback room lets that happen, it's downhill from there. It is downhill from there in most scenarios. You know what I mean? Sometimes, it's still they bring in another quarterback, draft another quarterback, that quarterback be sorry. But once they draft another quarterback, sign one in free agency and give that big money, it's downhill from there. NFL politics are not fair. Like I said, about that timing. NFL politics just aren't fair. Life isn't fair, really. But in the NFL, either you produce when your number is called on and you called up on next, or it will be the next man up if you don't produce when your number is called upon. That's how it goes. There will be no excuses despite any circumstances. It doesn't matter if it's their first season and they didn't have enough experience or they didn't get enough reps and things like that. None of that matters. This is a business. We need to win, sell tickets, and make our revenue increase. That's what it boils down to, the money. Only thing that matters, produce and win, baby. NFL, what have you done for me lately? Produce and win. It's going to be very interesting, like I said, man, to see who ends up being the starting quarterback day one for the Browns, man. It's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. Unless all these things don't matter if Shedeur Sanders can still be a flashy guy and back it up in the NFL to the NFL standards, right? He doesn't need to be humbled. He don't have to go in there like a 5th rounder. He can still go in there and be the confident guy he can, but he has to back it up to the NFL standards. Some people can't change. Some people can't change their ways. They've been like that their whole life. And I think I'm one of those people. I can't conform to how people want me to act and want me to be, like the Patriots way. You know what I mean? That doesn't work for me. Now I can adapt to any situation. Any situation, put me anywhere, I can adapt. That's no problem. But conforming to people and the way people want me to conform, I can't do that. That's just something I don't know. It just can't happen. It's like, no, I'm straight. You know what I mean? That's the real deal. That's the truth. I can't conform to people's ways and what people want me to do. I can adapt. I can follow a good leader. I'm a great leader, but I can't conform to you want me to be this way because, and it doesn't make sense to me, right? Like I said, if you're a good leader, I can be led. I can definitely be led. Any leader should be able to be led. You know what I mean? A leader is not just a dictator and a person that thinks they know it all. Usually that's what men think, you know what I mean? But man, that prank call, man, I know y'all don't understand it, and it's blown out of proportion, as it should be. But it's so wicked, man. Y'all don't understand. These are the things we go through. And it's so wicked to get a prank call during the draft. Prank calling players during the draft is so horrible. But it happens all the time. During the draft, the day before the draft, we tell everybody we know, don't call my phone. Do not call my phone. I'm not answering my phone. I will block you, but this and that. You know what I mean? We're waiting on one call that day. We're waiting and expecting one freaking call. That's all we want. And then anything else can happen after that. We're expecting one call. Then guess what? We get a weasel.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. We're gonna take you with our next pick right here, man.
This thing doesn't do nothing to him.
Hey, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, man. Sorry about that. Hey, is this Shedeur? Hey, this is Mickey Loomis here, the GM of the New Orleans Saints. How you doing? This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good. How are you, man?
Good. Been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. We're gonna take you with our next pick right here, man.
This thing doesn't do.
Yeah, man, that's wicked. That's crazy. But understand, man, it happens all the time. It didn't happen to me per se, but it happens to players all the time. But one thing you can see, man, you can see the confidence in Shedeur when he started talking after he answered the phone and understood who it was. He said, "Yeah, boy, I've been waiting on you." He said, "Where you been? I've been waiting on you." One boy said, "I've been waiting on you." Yeah, most people won't answer the phone like that and say, "I've been waiting on you," and things like that. They'll try to be more respectful, and yes, sir, and I'm excited and I'm ready. You know what I mean? But hey, it's all good. It's all good. But this hits a little different because the little weasel who made the prank call has been exposed, and the little weasel that is behind this prank call that we all know now is the son of one of my old teams, Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Albridge. And they are claiming the son stole the number from the father's iPad. Calling it a data breach. That sounds like some AT&T uh, class action lawsuit or something like that. They calling it a data breach. You know what I mean? Um, but hey, I bet the little weasel had no clue that him doing this would go viral like this. You know what I mean? He probably did this several times before. They right now in damage control trying to figure out how to cover this thing up. You know what I mean? But he probably did it. He probably the one that's calling everybody. Like I say, this junk happen all the time. He probably just never got exposed or to this magnitude. You know what I mean? But here's a statement from the Falcons and what the Falcons had to say about this issue right here. Right? Let me get in my phone and read this statement. So the Falcons statement. Early in the week, Jack Orbridge, the 21-year-old of the defensive coordinator, Jeff Orbridge, unintentionally came across the draft contact phone number for Shiloh Sanders off an open iPad while visiting his parents' home and wrote the number down to later conduct a prank call. Jeff Orbridge was unaware of the data exposure or any facets of the prank and was made aware of the above only after the fact. The Atlanta Falcons do not condone this behavior and sends our sincere apologies to Shedeur Sanders and his family, who we have been in contact with to apologize to, as well as facilitate an apology directly from Jax to the Sanders family. We have also been in contact with the NFL and will continue to cooperate fully with any inquiries we may receive from the NFL league office. We are thoroughly reviewing all protocols and updating if necessary to help prevent an incident like this from ever happening again. Yep. It hit different when it's your team, but hey, man, this stuff happens all the time, man. It happens all the time. And then you got the son. Then you got the son. He apologizes. At least he apologized. This is one thing I could say, man. At least he came back and apologized. And it sounded like he reached out to the family, which is a good thing. But, you know, y'all read with me. This kind of hard for me to see over here. Let me get close. It said, on Friday night, I made a tremendous mistake. Shedeur, what I did was completely inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. I'm so sorry I took away from your moment. It was selfish and childish. I could never imagine getting ready to celebrate one of the greatest moments of your life, and I made a terrible mistake and messed with that moment. Thank you for accepting my phone call earlier today. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. That's Jax Orbridge right there. That's a stand-up guy, you know what I mean? But hey, I hate to see after the fact that people try to apologize when they have done something so terrible and so terribly wrong. You're probably only apologizing because you got caught. You know what I mean? You're only apologizing because you got caught. That's the truth of the matter. Would you have apologized if this didn't go viral like this? And would you have made that same phone call next season? The Atlanta Falcons old Shiloh Sanders a second round bonus or something like that, man. For real, like that's wicked, man. That's wicked, especially in his situation, all the cameras and yeah, the NFL using his name, likeliness, and I mean, you've seen Shedeur Sanders on everything leading up to the draft. It's all about the Shedeur Sanders and things like that. You know, they definitely kicked up the ratings for the draft, even though it wasn't as talented as in the past. You know what I mean? But bruh, please tell me y'all seen Shiloh Sanders, man. Bruh, please tell me. Shiloh Sanders, let me tell you, Shiloh Sanders, man. We about to get into some Shannon Sharpe. Y'all gonna be real surprised when we get into the Shannon Sharpe stuff, man. But bruh, please tell me y'all seen Shiloh Sanders, bruh. Shiloh Sanders I had no clue he was that funny. Shiloh Sanders needs his own reality show. I can watch this man interact with his family all day long, bruh. I mean, every clip I seen him interacting with his family, is he just smiling and so happy, and he's so funny, and he don't even realize it and know it. I know y'all seen the clip. Bro say, my dad was my agent. I think he was talking to his mom on the chat at the end of the draft, right? When he didn't get drafted or start to realize he wasn't about to be selected in the draft, right? Bro say, yeah, my dad was my agent, but I had to fire him because that wasn't working out too well. So I had to fire my dad. And now I think he's hired Drew Rosenhaus. But he said it so calm and like it was just cool. Like, yeah, my dad was my agent. And I had to fire my dad because, you know, that wasn't working out too well. So it just kept right going, bro. I died laughing when I see that, bro. Shiloh is hilarious, bro. Tell me y'all see that stuff. Y'all wasn't laughing? Please tell me y'all seen it like I saw it. Then during the first round, right? During the first round, Shiloh tells Shedeur after the Saints, right? Shiloh tells Shedeur after the Saints didn't select him. After the Saints didn't select Shiloh tells Shedeur after the Saints didn't select Shedeur, right? He's like, damn, bro. If they doing you like that, what you think they about to do to me? Everybody busting out laughing. The cameraman like, this nigga selfish, ain't it, bro? But you don't even realize it, bro. So funny. Bro, if they doing you like this, what the hell they gonna do to me? What they about to do to me? Bro, you ain't even go to the combine, bro. What you talking about, bro? That joke was funny, bro. But yeah, man, a lot of people don't go to the combine and still get drafted, just to put that out there, man. But yeah, man, he is one of those funny people, man, that don't even realize they funny, and they just have that energy of being funny and a fun guy, you know. And that's Shiloh Sanders, man. Shiloh seemed like that child in the family that can't get right. Like you gotta always watch him because boy, hey, any minute now you ain't gonna tell him what he gonna do. Boy, he don't go all the time. You feel me? Like that's who Shiloh reminds me of. That family member right there. You know, he is a safety. You got to be a little cuckoo. I say it's two positions. You got to be a little cuckoo to play. That's free safety and linebacker. Two positions. You got to be a little cuckoo, baby. You got to be a little cuckoo. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, salute to the Sanders family, man, what Deion Sanders doing for his family. You know, overall, I'm very critical of some things, but, you know, that was a beautiful moment of him, you know, his son getting drafted, the other one getting picked up, man. It was such a beautiful moment, man. Salute to them, man. You know, they showing the community, the black community, how it's supposed to be done and how you should stick together, love each other, love up on each other and things like that, man. So if y'all ain't learned anything from this situation, man, it's two things, man. Never get too high, never get too low. Stay right there, man, and stick with your family, love your family. Never burn bridges with your family. Your family at the end of the day is the only thing you got, man. Please make sure y'all understand that. Please, please, please. You know what I mean? And y'all hit that like button. Goddamn. And subscribe if you ain't subscribing. How many people hit the like button? Somebody in the chat, make sure they hitting the like button, god darn it. I know y'all ain't hitting the like button. There's how many likes in here? And it's all these people in the chat. You feel me? We turned up tonight, baby. Sunday night vibes, man. This thing is over, baby. I done made it. I got drafted. It's over. That's what it felt like, boy. I felt like I was waiting to be drafted. That jump was so draining, boy. Yeah, man. Now it's time to talk about some football. But the drama doesn't stop for the Shedeur Sanders, and the Sanders family. And one thing the NFL did do, I can say, is they took away that leverage. They took away that leverage because you know why? Going from a top 5 pick to a 5th rounder, that's $40 million difference right there. And when you have that $40 million leverage on your name, yeah, you could imagine what the Sanders family gonna try to do, you know, especially Pops, how they gonna cook it up, you know what I mean? But like I say, salute to the Sanders family, you know what I mean? Old Shannon Sharpe, man. Let's get into this old Shannon Sharpe, right? And I need y'all to tell me something right here. Please, y'all tell me right here, Uncle Shannon Sharpe. Now, y'all know we've been going at it. And I never pray on nobody's downfall. And I hate for somebody to start losing their livelihood. But if y'all can guess right now in the chat, I'm looking in the chat. Y'all can see what I see. What y'all say missing from here? Y'all talk to me. What do y'all see missing from this nightcap pick right here? Talk to me. I see Kathy in the chat. How she doing? She say Dylan Garrett one of the last one lost a game that was against Ohio. One lost game against Ohio. What y'all see, man? We see in this clip right here, man. We getting a little Shannon Sharpe, man, been accused of some heinous crimes, or not crimes, some accusations and things like that, man. What do y'all see, man? Oh, the Real Two Goons TV, baby. Hit it right on the head. Man, you must have been up strolling and surfing the net, man. You know something, man. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you see something. Because it definitely looks like trouble is brewing for Shannon Sharpe and his media empire, man. This is sad. And when, you know, I was watching them speaking things like that, it's like when you're talking and you know something's bothering you in the back of the head and you can see that, you know, that's kind of how you feel, you know, that's that energy I feel like it was putting out, man. And y'all know what, man, at the end of the day, man, y'all know it say what needs to be said, and I got to say what needs to be said. This is your empire, Shannon Sharpe. Yeah, that's right. I clap it up. You put this together, you did your thing and things like that. But you know what, Mr. Shannon Sharpe? Mr. Shannon Sharpe, you owe Ocho Cinco a public apology. Yeah, that's right. Mr. Shannon Sharpe, you owe Ocho Cinco a public apology. You need to apologize to Ocho Cinco. The same way, just the same way you call out Ocho Cinco in front of, you know, in front of everybody, in front of that audience you have on that platform. You know, you call out Ocho Cinco loud and proud in front of everybody about being late, about possibly messing up business. You call him out like you granddaddy, like you Unc Shannon Sharpe, you know what I mean? With the wisdom and things like that. You called him out. You made him look You belittle him in front of everybody. Now it's your turn. It's your turn to apologize. That's the same energy you need to give Ocho Cinco when you apologize. The same energy that you gave him when he was in trouble. Now you need to reverse it and give him back that same energy that he had to take from you, Mr. Shannon Sharpe. Yeah. Yeah, you need to apologize, man. Apologize to Ocho for being such an idiot and blowing the bag. Blowing the bag. And I'm not saying Ocho is perfect. You know what I mean? We all not perfect. You know what I mean? But some things are just too crazier than others. And, all Shannon Sharpe's legal issues and trouble is causing Ocho Cinco a headache, man. And Ocho don't deserve that. Ocho went through his headaches already. He fought, he bit the bullet, and man, and he made some mistakes and things like that. And like I said, man, it appears, if y'all couldn't guess in the chat, it appears that some sponsors have decided to ditch their relationship with one of the top podcast shows in the game because Shannon wants to be Granddaddy Freaky Ump instead of just Granddaddy. He want to be Granddaddy Freaky Ump. You feel me? Look at that. Look how good and nice and neat that looks beautiful. They getting to the money. Right here, man, you can see the Boost Mobile sign posted for advertisement. You know what I mean? And this, I think this is about maybe a week ago or so, when everything was still rolling, that machine was moving. They print money over there, right? And then you look at their most recent show, if they ain't doing one tonight, what happens? The thing disappears, right? Got it here and not here. And then you see here, Ocho has his Boost Mobile sign covered up with his Bengals jersey. That tells me either sponsorship is suspended or has suspended the deal that they agreed upon or whatever, the contract, things like that. Or the sponsor no longer wants to be associated or do business with the crew because of the bad publicity and all the accusations that's going on. You know what I mean? Like I said in the beginning, man, I never want a man to lose his livelihood. And this is for awareness purposes only, right, man? I'm bringing this awareness to everyone and understand, because I don't know how many people notice this situation right here. This is awareness. Don't think you're bigger than the program ever. Don't get beside yourself in life. Don't get to the bag right to everything you work so hard for and go screw that shit up, man. That pissed me off. DraftKings too, man. If you notice, in Nightcap, before they do their shows, you always do the little advertisement. Talk about DraftKings, they talk about Boost Mobile. Not anymore. Hey, DraftKings, Boost Mobile, we going up over here. Ask my chat. My chat will turn you up, baby. Hey, baby, we got a lot of landscape behind me. Y'all hit up DraftKings and Boost Mobile, let them know, man. We trying to get them sponsorships over here, baby. We turned up. We got that energy to say what needs to be said, and we ain't scared to debate and call somebody out when they need to be called out. And y'all call me out when I need to be called out, chat. That's type of relationship. I want y'all to know that's the type of relationship we have over here. Y'all can call me out anytime when I get beside myself, I'm doing something wrong. I said something totally wrong about somebody. You know what I mean? Y'all let me know, because I'm that type of person. I want to keep learning. I don't never want to be stagnant in life. I want to keep learning and growing and growing and growing. So if y'all correct me of something that I was wrong about, I'm going to admit it and move on. That's how my life works. You know what I mean? And like I say, man, Ocho don't deserve this, man. Ocho don't deserve this. Homie is a very cool dude, man. If y'all ain't never met Ocho, the way he is the way he presents himself on Nightcap. That's just the way he is. What you see on the Nightcap. Very cool, humble dude, rooting for everybody. He don't got a hating bone in his body. You know what I mean? Hey, and let me tell you, man, we assume Shannon Sharpe may have had some guilt because it's been exposed that he offered $10 million to settle this claim and make it disappear. But now that we think about it and see all these things that's transpiring, maybe Shannon Sharpe isn't as guilty as we think of these accusations. And maybe he was just trying to settle the claim to avoid all these matters and mess up the relationship that he has entered into. He wanted to get in front of it. He's trying to get in front of this matter. They was, like you said, they was mediating for 6 weeks. And maybe he just thought it was worth it to get in front of the matter, pay this debt, and move on, man, and say, man, I hustle and get this money back. But that's a huge amount of money and not have any guilt, man. You know what I mean? But that is a possibility, but very small possibility in my eyes. Very, very small possibility. Very small possibility. But like I say, I'm not the person that comes up here and just play one side. Y'all gonna always hear me make sure that we understand there's two sides to every story. You know what I mean? Like with Shiloh Sanders. You know what I mean? He could be flashy still. He just got to go out there and be that guy. He got to play to the standards of a baller in the NFL. You want to be that cocky, flashy guy. You understand what I'm saying? Shannon Sharpe, we see the $10 million offer, assume there might be guilt. But at the end of the day, he might have just been doing that just to save face and not lose relationships. I think it was ABC or somebody, one of these big networks, Trump was suing them. They ain't even bother going to court. They ain't even bother because they understood the headache and who they going up against, and the judge, probably is going to, side with Trump. So they settled for like $25 million without even no proceedings in court or anything. You know what I mean? But and one more funny thing, man, about Shannon. I don't know if y'all seen it, but it was everywhere, man. Have y'all ever seen that Roe commercial that Shannon Sharpe used to promote, man? That Roe commercial. The Roe is a supplement that helps men, get that blood flowing down there to the PP, you know what I mean? And get that thing right. You feel me? That Roe commercial. I know y'all seen it, Now, if you know what we know, if we know what we know now, this shit hit a little different, man. If we knew what we know now, shit would have hit a little different, man. These companies, though, it's funny because these companies, they know how to go out there and target like the correct people, the correct brand ambassadors to pick to promote their company or their stuff, their product. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, the way the world work, all the universes, everything, the stars just lining up. It's like, we know this guy is out here, even though he's 56 years old, but we know he's hot and freaky. This one would be a good candidate. Y'all go over him and give him that bag because he's going to promote it and he's going to have a lot of freaky things going on that's going to come out and so on and so forth. We ain't talking about the claims. We're talking about the live incident and other stuff, man, So that junk is funny, man. This whole situation, just everything. Now, when you go look back at everything that old Unc Shannon Sharpe was doing and talking about, everything just looks funny, man. But at the end of the day, hey, I think we're gonna put a time limit on Unc, Granddaddy Unc. Y'all make sure y'all, say what needs to be said, chat. Hey, y'all know that we say what needs to be said. Y'all make sure y'all go over there, the nightcap or the Shannon Sharpe. Make sure y'all tell him, y'all blow the comment up. Y'all blow the chat up. Let him know that Mr. Pick Six Asante said you need to apologize to Mr. Ocho Cinco. The same way you went off on him, going off on him about possibly messing up business, not doing the right thing. Yeah, homeboy. You need to apologize to Ocho Cinco. And Ocho Cinco might not agree. This ain't got nothing to do with Ocho. I mean, make that clear. Ocho might not even want an apology. But I'm telling you, homeboy, you need to apologize to Ocho Cinco. Mr. Cocky, arrogant, freaking, think he better than everybody, 56-year-old granddaddy Unc. You know what I mean? Sunday night vibes, baby. How we feeling out there, man? LW say facts. You feel me? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How y'all doing out there, chat? Am I missing any super chats? I hope I don't. I hope I don't. Say I'm talking to a Browns and Buckeye fan. What y'all think y'all gonna do, man? Kathy? Say I'm talking to a Browns and Buckeye fan. Who is going to end up being the starting quarterback? What are they going to do with Deshaun Watson? Is Deshaun Watson going to be on the team? Is he going to be one of the top 3 starting quarterbacks or top 3, have the top 3 spots on the depth chart? This whole situation is looking funny, man. Looking real funny up there in Cleveland. But shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to my people, man. Y'all let me know where y'all coming in from. We turned up. We having a good time, man. Like I say, man, y'all let Ocho Cinco know. Let Shannon Sharpe know he needs to apologize to Ocho Cinco. And always, y'all make sure y'all hit Boost Mobile up. Y'all hit DraftKings up. Tell them, man, we waiting. We riding out, baby. Say what needs to be said. Sunday Night Vibes, man. Until next time, in between time, I'm going to see y'all, baby. It's always a pleasure. It's always fun having fun with y'all, man. I couldn't do this without y'all. I love interacting with y'all, man. I can't lie to y'all, man. Y'all finally really getting to see the true side of Mr. Pick 6 because, I was always kind of here. My friends and people who come around me notice how I get down and I talk that shit and I like to talk that shit, you feel me? I do that. But I just wasn't open out in public with it. But now I'm here, man. Hey, the world gonna see, baby. It's never too late, you know what I mean? Mr. Pick 6 is all love, man. From the west side to the east side to the north to the south. Baby, say what needs to be said. We out.